hate when I forget to put it on. Anyone in the chat? I see 5 people watching. I don't see anyone. How do you like the background? I know sometimes if you have a background, the image is kind of flu. Let me know what you think. If it's too bad or reminds me of this. Oh, I can't wait for summer. So Tracy, if you watch this on a replay, the secret word is, wait for it. Oh, well, nobody's here in the chat. What's going on? What's going on? I'm going to share this on Facebook. Come say hi. Winter is over. I never understand what's the deal with the groundhog. So if he doesn't see a shadow, it means the winter is over. All I know is nobody likes this groundhog. Okay, can I share this copy? Let me see if I can put that in. I will put this here. I will share this as much as I can. Here it's been snowing all day. Schools were closed. Although it wasn't like a really bad storm. It was just... Actually, I don't even know. I don't know why. There you go. So this is shared 2 different places on Facebook. Sorry. Oh, nice lake in the background. Yes, reminds me of the summer. I can't wait to go fishing with my new equipment, my new plans, my new direction with my channel. I have some pretty cool stuff coming. As much as I love growing food, and I like in the last couple of years, it's been the years have been planting, removing weeds and getting ready and all that kind of stuff. And it turned out that I never really had time to do anything at all. I love growing food, don't get me wrong, and I'm happy that I was able to do it, because right now with the cost of food, woof. I don't need to tell you. You go to the store, you buy 2 things, and it's like $45. You feel like one little basket that you can actually hold in one bag. It's like $200. Like, it's insane. But anyway, I don't want to complain tonight. So that being said, I'm going to try to grow as much food as I can again this year, except that I might not film it as much. Because first of all, you're not watching my content to learn from me, because I got nothing to teach about growing food, Right now I'm learning about foraging. I already know a lot about foraging, but I'm going to learn some more. I'm learning right now to differentiate the toxic and deadly mushrooms. I know a few ones already, and I will be focusing on that kind of stuff. Anything happening in the nature. There's a dam, like human-made dam, not too far from here, like 10 minutes away. Last time I went there, for some reason, it was impossible to fish. There was a guy that built a camp next to it, and I guess that he changed things after making it so that people can actually go fish. But that kind of stopped me from going there. And I know another place that you have to walk for about 30 minutes before you get there. Now, walking 30 minutes to get to a fishing spot when you don't really have much time. I get back from work around 4. If around 4:30, actually, if I want to get there and do some fishing before before it gets dark. I get there around 4:45, and that's if I am 100% ready. I have to walk for about 30 minutes. That's a very big deal. And then you have to remember that you have to leave 30 minutes before sundown, because before sun goes down, because you have to be back before it starts. Otherwise, you're walking in the middle of the woods, and it can get dangerous. I guess you could get lost. Well, let's just face it. I don't like walking in the dark in the woods. But since I won't be doing the same content anymore, I'm hoping to do a little bit more fishing and camping and blend both of them together. I want to go out. I have some of the kids that are already willing to come. We have a tent. I might have to find some missing pieces. If I can't, I might have to buy a new tent. But it'd be nice, because next to the higher on the dam, it's pretty much the same as a lake. But way up at the beginning of the dam, there's a ATV trail that goes there, and they put in a fireplace, and there's grass. For some reason, some people go there and cut the grass. They mow the lawn. What's this? Something weird. Looks like a dry blueberry I found on the floor. That's not me, because I don't eat blueberries. Well, I do, but I mean, I'll eat it fresh, not here. So yeah, I might be able to bring a tent, go there for the evening fish, like the evening fishing. Might be able to catch some big trout. My plan is to stay there, wake up in the morning, and cook those fish for breakfast, and then do the morning fishing. Hopefully, I'll be able to catch something and show some nice, decent videos. This is something I want to start doing a lot more, because let's face it. Yes, you're right, Dave. Grow things that are easy and that you eat, and the stuff that we eat is the stuff that's easy. Carrots. Although carrots, if I plant them in the community garden, I don't need to worry too much about the weeds. The weeds are, nobody's taking care of them, but the garden is not invaded by weeds. Here, I might plant like potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, and things like that. I don't know. I have to figure something out, because I can't really think about anything that's really growing well. And I mean, I have the solutions. I know what to do. It's just a matter of finding time to do it. But if I plant potatoes, carrots, tomatoes, peppers, onions, I'll have a lot of perennials as well. I don't need to spend as much time in the garden taking care of all the stuff. Now, radishes, lettuce, kale, spinach, those are things that are growing very fast. But then again, it has a 30 days cycle, right? So I don't need to be there 24/7 taking care of those vegetables. I see some new people coming in. Hello, Patrick. Thanks for dropping in. I see some more people in the chat. Don't hesitate to say hi, just so I know that you're there. I think there's actually a way that I can see who's all here. No, it's only showing me who's actually chatting. I thought I could see who was in here without even... All right. But anyway, if I do things properly, I'll be able to have more time to go out, forage for fiddleheads, mushrooms, wild plants, berries, nuts, all kind of food like that. And I realized that even if I love squash and zucchinis, I said the word, um, my family doesn't like it as much as I do. The beans, I need to aim for about maybe 30 um, pints of beans. I need to go for about, I'd say, 60 pints of carrots. Um, I'll have to do spaghetti sauce again and salsa. Um, I still have some here actually that I think I should eat soon. It's still good for at least a year, but I just realized that I still have some salsa here and I want to eat it. I did some chicken soup and I still have some and I love it. Whenever I don't know what to eat for lunch and when I go to work, just grab a mason jar and there I go. I made some stew. The only thing with stew is when you pressure can it, you need to put a lot of liquid, and then you kind of have to eat it like a soup. Well, that was when I was working in the pharmacy because when you go to the cafeteria, there's really no way for me to get rid of all the extra liquid in there. My new job, we are right next to the residence. When doctors or any student come from far away, they have a place within the hospital where those people can go and live. It's just like a small bedroom basically, but they have like showers and um, bathrooms, and they have like what's it called, like a kitchen where everyone can just go. They have like 2 stoves, microwaves. I can, don't tell my girlfriend, but I can clean my own dishes there. Um, they have a Keurig machine, but when I looked at the Keurig machine, it was unplugged, and I plugged it and I went to put it on. But then I started looking at the water that was in there, and even though like I know I can change the water, it didn't look too appealing. Let's just say that I disconnected it from the wall and put it back in place. But we have a few microwaves now and a few sinks, so I could actually empty the extra liquid that I have in my mason jars. Those are things that I still want to do. I want to get a little bit more into making like meals, soup, stew, not only chicken soup, but vegetable soups, stews, and things like that. Can some meat, salsa, spaghetti sauce, things like that. I'm going to have to do a lot of research on what else I could do. Have you been there for a long time? You're already frozen.
What's going on, homie?
You're lagging. It's okay. Hello.
Hello. Hope you're doing amazing tonight. Hope everyone in the audience is doing crazy awesome. What is
You're struggling with your internet lately. You change your in your office, and now everything's all screwed up. This way. You're frozen, Darren. Okay. I'm just going to remove you from the screen until you unfreeze because...
Dude.
Oh, there you are. No, you're gone again.
No.
What's
I
wrong?
think the kids are home and they're sucking up all the internet.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
You're good crazy now.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh. So What are you drinking? You're looking like cranberry juice.
Oh, I'm gonna show you. You know.
I love harassing you for what you drink.
Oh,
Oh, so that is the magnetic kill is that one that has that like kind of weird thing where it looks like you're if you let off anything, it looks still like you're traveling uphill, right?
I didn't understand half the things you said because you froze in between.
Oh no. So that magnetic kill, I've got a things that happen in Canada book, and it talks about that magnetic kill, I think. And it's one of those things that where if you're driving there and you let go of the brake and the gas, it you're kind of still going, but it looks because of some sort of weird effect, it looks like you're going uphill, right?
Could be. I don't know. That could be why it was named that way. I know it's like Magnetic Hill is in Moncton somewhere.
Yeah.
They used to have this big water park there, but now they do. There's a company that does wine. That's the same wine I brought you and Brigitte last year.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it gives a nice. Like it's hard to get drunk on that wine, but it always gives you like this feeling, like right here. It's hard to explain. Like those uppercut drinks. Have you ever had that? Yeah, but not the punch, the drink.
No, I haven't.
Disaronno and orange juice.
A what?
It's Disaronno, the alcohol.
And orange juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I go with the screwdriver, vodka, and orange juice.
Okay.
I'd have to check out the Disaronno and orange juice.
When we went out in bars back in the days, that used to be like the drink where that it gives you, when you drink it a lot, you don't get like pissed drunk where you don't know what you're doing. It's just like a really hard, like heavy, brain foggy buzz kind of that you get.
Okay.
And you just feel happy.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, I was just telling people that I'm gonna have to go in a different direction with my garden because I want to be out there in the nature a lot more. You've been given a few classes a couple of years back. I don't know if you still do that, but you went in the army or you were about to.
Okay.
Oh, you froze just before you could answer.
Experience. What it was.
You keep freezing. Interesting story.
So, for my military experience, I tried to join when I was 18.
Okay.
And it was right at the time that Chrétien brought in that. So I went down to the recruiting office in Downsview, and I was like, "Yep, throw me in." And they're like, "No, you're a white male. You can't join." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Yeah, we can't take any white males right now." I'm like, are you kidding me? That has been my entire life goal. That is all I've wanted to do. That is the time I was born. All I've wanted to do was be in the military. It's crazy, but that was my entire focus.
You freeze a lot, Darren.
Son of a...
Get the kids off the internet.
I know. Did you hear any of what I said?
You said all I ever wanted to do since I was a kid was to be in the army, and they didn't allow you because you were a white man, and then you like
Yeah, they brought in that equal opportunity employment,
Okay.
and that was it.
So that's not where you learn all your survival skills.
So what happened after that was I started taking some other jobs. I got into some other stuff.
Really?
But for the survival skills, I did finally join when it was 2023, and I joined the reserves after 9/11. They were finally like, okay, we kind of need everybody to join that can. So they were finally taking everyone. So I joined then. I got a lot of work as reconnaissance, armored recce, but I also did a lot of my own stuff for hunting, being out in the bush, out in the wilderness, that sort of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff along the way. From kind of childhood, I spent a lot of time out in the bush doing things for myself, learning how to start fires with basically nothing, that sort of thing. So my survival skills come from kind of that practical side of things where it was what I could do. It was having fun actually as a kid. And it turned into
Turn into what? You froze right there.
son of a.
I heard you say it was turning into something, and then I don't know what it turned into.
Yeah, so it just turned into like me being myself out in the bush. Elf. All right, dude. Obviously, I'm going to have to go punch some kids and get them off the internet. I don't want to ruin your. I'm going to jump off so there's no.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. I'll see if I can fix it, but I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks for stopping in anyway. So yeah, when you go out in the woods, so many things can happen, and it's always good to be prepared. And I'm taking a class right now about foraging, medicinal plants, and all that kind of stuff. As much as when I started growing my own food, garden and fruit forest and all that kind of stuff, as much as I found a passion about that for those, vegetables and fruits, now I kind of found the same passion about, like, I'm obsessed with being out there. I've been watching the TV show Alone, and my girlfriend keeps asking me, like, you think you could make it? You think you could make it? The first couple of seasons, I was like, yeah, of course. Like, I can see myself doing that, I can see myself being out there alone, building a shelter, making fire, putting snares and fishing. And you kind of wonder, you kind of wonder, why don't they eat more wild plants? One thing, like, I know it's hard. Like, you see them through 50 days or 60 days or whatever, and during those times, some of them struggle to actually catch fish. Some of them will struggle to actually find meat because they need the protein and the fat and all that kind of stuff. But when I start to think about it, it kind of makes me wonder, because I don't want to go on like in the deep hole about vegans and all that kind of stuff. But how can they even say that being a vegan is equal, like, even better than a regular diet. When you see those people on alone and they have tons of plants around them, and honestly, half the plants you see in the woods are edible, give or take. You need to know them. Like I'm not saying go in there and start eating anything you see. That's not what I'm saying. But you can get all the vitamins you need out of plants. You can get all the the elements, magnesium, potassium, all those things from plants as well. Yet, if they don't catch fish and they don't snare rabbits or squirrels or anything like that, they're done. Yes, that TV show is amazing. Hello, CR. Nice to have you here. I stopped by your live stream for a few seconds, give you a thumbs up. I didn't really have time to stay. As soon as I went on, my son came and asked me to go drive him to one of his friends, and by the time I came back home, I needed to go take a bath and get ready for my own live stream. So I'm sorry I couldn't stay, but I'm gonna try to put it on after I'm done here. I'm gonna put it on, give you the watch hour, the watch time, but you already have the thumbs up from me anyway. So yeah, do I think I could have done it being alone in the wild? I guess it depends, because most of those people are very skilled. They have a lot of skills. The ones that leave first are either the ones that end up like not being mentally ready or prepared for that stretch. Yes, that's it. Like, it can show the struggles. It can, like, the way it can actually be. It's one thing to get lost in the woods. When you get lost in the woods, and you have to keep in mind that someone's going to try to find you eventually, you can stay there and hope for the best and try to live as long as you can, because chances are, I mean, I'm not talking about if you decide to go take a plane and go in Alaska. I mean, if I got lost in Alaska, nobody would know where I was. But if you do the simple tricks or tips that everyone is saying that you should do, then you should be okay, because the first thing they say you should do is tell someone where you're going. I mean, I tell my girlfriend where I'm going all the time. Like, might not tell her exactly I'm going to go next to this road by that place or whatever, but I'll tell her I'm going in the woods to harvest some mushrooms, for example. Well, they'll be going out there looking for my vehicle. If my vehicle gets stolen or something like that and I get lost in the woods, that's another story. But some other people know where I usually go for my mushrooms. And I usually always go in the same places. I'll go from my place, take the old IP road, that's how we call it, and I'll go to my parents' trailer, or I'll take the big wooden road and go to the same place, or sometimes I'll go a little bit further, take the next road and go left and go about 10 kilometers in that road. And like, I mean, people would have a vague idea of where I am. Sorry. And then hopefully someone will be able to find me, because the main thing when you get lost is, first of all, if people have no idea where you are, where to look for you, they're not going to be able to find you. Saying hi. The one who leave first have no mental will, or they ate something stupid. Yeah. I remember this one season, there was this one guy drinking water too close to the sea, and he got sick because it was too much salt in the water he was drinking. But I find that at that point, it's kind of a hit and miss because you can end up in bear territory. In the later seasons, they have bows and arrows, and they kind of like being there, and they hope to find a bear. But in the previous seasons, they didn't have any bow and arrows, and they just had have they had a knife and a machete and an axe. You're not gonna fight a grizzly bear with an axe, Like chances are you're gonna die. But yeah, most of the time they eat something they're not supposed to, or they have no. Well, it's kind of hard because you never know what it's like, and that's why I say you should always prepare, and that's what I want to try to do because I'm always in the woods. Being in the woods is where I feel like I have no stress in the world. There's nothing in the woods that really bothering me, except for like a few times when you look at your watch, you're like, okay, I have like 30 minutes before it gets dark. I have to get back to the vehicle. My family's gonna worry about me, and you don't want to stay stuck out there in the cold and all that kind of stuff. But really, when you're out there, like I'm always in the woods, so it's only normal that I would focus on being aware of what it feels like to be alone in the woods. And I'm not saying I should go and leave for a month. That's not what I'm talking about. But I could start by going one night alone in the woods, and see what happens. Maybe I should, I could stay close to my vehicle in case something happens. Going to the kitchen. I never get lost. Hello, Amanda. Nice to have you here. You remind me I'm going to go and change the banner. Your name is on there now. Last week, or is it the week before that? I forgot to put your name in the little banner here, but I gave you a shout out anyway. I spoke about your channel, and I encourage people to go. All the people you see in green are all members of mine, and the ones that are not in green, the blue ones are moderators. So I trust them enough, and you can go check their channels as well. Grizzly bear versus you with an axe equals Valhalla. When you show what you are growing, this is personal to others trying to grow the same thing. True. And well, the only thing is, I don't have the knowledge that a lot of people have. So until I feel comfortable with what I'm growing, until I can master the skills of growing carrots or anything like that, I will not be doing those specific videos. I made a couple of videos about me growing tomatoes, showing a few tips and tricks. Those are things that I learned from someone else, or that, being logical about things sometimes helps you. I made this one video where I was explaining why I would cut the flowers from my plants at a certain time of year. Well, it's only logical that if you get to the point where you still have you have less than 30 days left in your season, all the flowers are just draining energy from your plant, and they're not going to have time to grow into a nice, beautiful tomato. So it's only normal that you would cut them off and focus on the fruits that are already on the plants. Things like that I can show, I can talk about, but I'm struggling with my own garden. Like I don't feel like I can teach anyone anything while there are so many good channels out there. My goal when I started with the garden was to show people that, hey, I'm a nobody. I'm starting from scratch, and I can probably do this. so anyone can do it. And that's kind of what I did. Right now, I have, like, 3 years later, I was able to grow 2,600 pounds of food. Well, grow and harvest there, because I've been hunting too, so that kind of helps. Um, but when you think about it, 2,600 pounds of food is a lot of food. Um, Someone could live on that, like, um, you don't need to well, I personally need to lean off the sugar and the coffee and all that kind of stuff, because I actually want to try to go in the woods, and that's what I was talking about earlier, and I kind of lost my focus there. But I actually want to go out there, start with one night, spend one night in the woods, and if I can do it, then go for maybe a weekend. Leave on Friday night, come back on Sunday afternoon. Uh, and then eventually, when I get used to it and I feel comfortable doing it, like, I mean, I'm working full time, so there's no way that I can do it for longer than that. But maybe at some point I'll take a week off and try to do it for a week. Now, the reason that I keep saying that you need to practice that kind of thing is I tell my kids I love them every day. I tell my girlfriend I love her every day. Even if it's just a small hug, even if it's just seeing their smile, that's the most precious thing in my life right now. So if I'm out there in the woods and I can't do that, I know it would be hard. And Darren, you keep saying that, some people on the Alone show, they don't have the mental capacity to stay there for long. But imagine if you had to stay for a month away from Bridget. Would you be able to do it? It's people saying hi. I see the comments there scrolling by. You're welcome. You're paying to be a member of mine. This is one of the things that I'm keeping my promise on. I have no snow. My ASCAP's still trying to bud again. Oh no. Winter is over. I wish it was over. I'm an awesome nobody. Well, I'm just trying to show that if I can do it and learn, everybody can do it. And most of my videos were like mostly vlogging, saying, hey, someone told me I should try this, so here it is. I'm trying this, without really telling anyone what to do. Hey, I'm planting seeds. Let's see what happens. I wasn't really like, you have Luke from My Gardener. That's like probably one of the best gardeners out there. If you see a video from My Gardener and from Rem's Family Farm, what do you think people are going to click on? He's got like over 1 million subscribers. I just passed 7,000. He's got tons of knowledge. He's got a business selling seeds. He's way up there, way higher than me. But when it comes to being in the wild, when we were younger, my mom didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom, which you can say it's a pretty good. Well, it's an awesome job considering the way that my brothers and I were. Let me tell you that she's awesome to be able to deal with us. Let's just say that we were breaking hockey sticks in front of each other's legs just for fun. But my dad was working at the mill at some point, and keep in mind, in 1990, he was doing $25 an hour. I was doing that like 5 years ago, and I was raising 5 kids in today's life. So $25 an hour in 1990 was probably around $40 today, or maybe even $50 today. And at some point in 1992 or 1993, he lost his job. And, I am so grateful for what my parents did, because we never missed anything. Maybe we couldn't play hockey because my parents could not afford it. but they were still okay with us. Like they wanted us to do some sports. So we played soccer, we played baseball or softball and sports like that. We were always gone with our friends somewhere, sleepovers and camping and things like that. But when we were home, because we didn't have anything else to do, and remember the young ones, 20, well, I'm 40, so let's say 25 to 35 years ago, there was no internet, there were no computers, there were no phones, iPhones, or smartphones. Those things did not exist. And yes, we had like the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo at some point, but we were always outside, always. And behind my parents' house, it was woods, and we'd go there and make trails, build little shelters, little tree houses. That's what we did. And we learned about, and we learned about foraging a few things, and I didn't realize how important or how special that was until a few years ago when I started on YouTube, because I've been harvesting blueberries. I knew what blueberries were since I was 5 years old. I knew what the look-alike were. Like every single look-alikes of blueberries, I knew what it was. I was harvesting hazelnuts. I was harvesting wild strawberries, wild raspberries. We go and I'm trying to think if there was anything else. But we'd be out there making little shelters, trying to figure out what we could do. I've been fishing and hunting my whole life, and this is what we did back in the days. So now this is kind of coming back, and I really want to teach that to my kids. I want to show them what it's like to be out there in the wild, out there in the woods, fishing, hunting, foraging, gathering food. I have the hiccups, sorry. I need help with growing carrots. Well, when I went to the farmer's market, there was this guy there. I knew him because he was involved with the Minor Soccer Association while I was there. And his son is one of the kids that I used to coach. And he eventually ended up coaching my kids. So, we're kind of not really friends, but we're people that we know that, if I need something from him or he needs something from me, we probably can call each other and help each other out. You know what I mean? Like, someone I can trust, but not necessarily in my close circle. But anyway, and he ended up going to the farmer's market with those like huge carrots. Like, and when I say huge, like I mean like they were a foot long and they were like very, very big. And that was like mid-August. And my carrots, I harvest them. Like I have nice, beautiful carrots, but I harvest them at the end of September. They have an extra month and a half to grow. And I looked at the kid and I said, how is it that you can grow big carrots like that? Like mine are still like maybe this tall. And one thing he told me was any single weed growing around it will slow the growth of the carrot like really, really bad. So they need a lot of compost. You need to be on top of the weeds every single day until nothing grows next to them. They need a lot of water. And another trick I found is that once the carrot is really established, don't water them too much, because if you water them too much, they'll be like comfortable being there and not really growing much. But if you don't water them too much, at some point you can probably water them like every week or two. The carrot will try to grow it's a root vegetable, right? It'll try to grow like deeper to try to go tap some water that's down below. So those are a few tricks that I know of, and you have to give them a lot of space. Of course, if they're too squeezed in, they won't grow as much. Cardboard till they sprout. Yeah, that's another good trick, I guess. I've never tried that, though. I've heard about it. I'm going to try to do it. Nothing stops you from to go work during the day and sleep in the woods around during night. Yes, but yeah, I could always bring my charger at work, I guess, and so I'm guessing, Patrick, you're still in the chat, but you're not really watching, you're listening, which is kind of cool. Awesome. What's that? So I see. I wanted to check. I'm going to come back to the stream in a second, but I just had to share this. I was trying to find out like what Patrick was saying, and then I see this like friend of mine, like a business owner. I didn't expect that at all, and he's like, Pornhub is paying $36,000 for homemade content. So if you think you recognize me, just mind your own business. Gas ain't cheap. Someone's asking, do you have the people I need to contact? A case of chorus light and some matches is all you need. Yeah, maybe. I will not grow Swiss chard. I don't like it. I've never grown that at all. I think I'm sub, but I don't watch on my gardener. I'm sub. I watch a lot of his stuff earlier, especially when I needed to learn how to grow stuff. But I will rely on his channel maybe if I kind of need to have some information. Like if I'm looking for, okay, well my carrots are not doing great. Why is that? Well, I'll go on my gardener's channel and I'll start looking for videos where he talks about carrots. Our ass caps are wrapped up for winter that might be trying to bud, but we are ignoring. Who do you watch in the outdoor niche? Honestly, I don't really watch anyone. There's this one guy I just found lately. What's his name? I'm trying to remember his name. Is that him here? Yeah. The channel is Feral Foraging. He's the only one that I'm following now because he's got a lot of shorts and seems pretty interesting, and he seems to know what he's talking about. So I'm just going to put the link down there for his channel. Like, not like he really needs me. He's got 194,000 subscribers. But anyway, if you want to learn about that stuff, there it is. I guess I should have wrapped it with burlap. I guess I start to watch Canadian channels more for gardening. Yeah, that's what I try to do, and that's why I try to support my friends that are in the chat right now, because they're the ones that will have the knowledge about what's going on in Canada. It's one thing, like I started watching Justin Rose, like everyone else, when I first started homesteading. But not only is the reality a lot different because now he's like a big, huge channel. He's got a lot of money, and he's got a lot of people working for him, and his reality and mine are not the same. He's got like almost a million subscribers. So if he starts talking about something, he's probably going to get that thing for free. Well, I have to pay $1,000 for something. He gets it for free. You know what I mean? Like, but they also don't have the same reality. Luke and my gardener is from Michigan, and they have some snow. So his environment or climate is a little bit like mine. But the other ones, like, I mean, you see Justin Rose's kids trying to go and have some fun in the snow when they have like 2 inches of snow. First of all, I don't like snow, and second of all, we have like 2 inches of snow like every day from November until May usually. This year has been different, but I have lots of squash soup canned. Awesome. That's something I want to learn. I canned some zucchinis this year. It was my first time trying. Um, the smell that was coming out of them was like awful. Honestly, when I was done canning my zucchinis, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna like that. There's no way I'm gonna actually eat that. And I brought like one mason jar to work to share with some colleagues. And I told them like, I'm gonna eat one, and you can have the rest. And you know what? Like, I actually really, really loved it. It was not. It didn't taste the same thing as what it smelled when before I, pressure can. Well, not pressure can. It was water bath canning, but it didn't taste the same thing at all. I like how Remy keeping the comment on screen. Which one? Which one did I keep there for too long? Darren. Hello, the Wickershire Project Off-Grid. Nice to have you here. I need to find out your real name. Your name is too long to say, and with me being French, the Wickershire Project Off-Grid. I've said it twice in a row, but it's really hard to pronounce when you're French, trust me. That's awesome, Patrick. Thank you. And you don't need to come back to your phone. You can stay there and keep doing what you're doing. Just wanted to say thank you. Carrots need warm soil to be covered and lightly watered. Seeded 2 inches apart. Minimum. Soil is loam and with sand, well drained. Yes, that's another thing. You have to have like well drained soil. That's another truth that I kind of learned in growing carrots in the last couple of years. I plant carrots at the community garden, like I said earlier, and I get about 125, 130 pounds of carrots per year. We end up eating a lot raw, a lot. We'll cook fresh. We'll freeze a lot, and when I have time, I'll actually can some. I love it. Yes. Usually what I do with carrot seeds, I'll put them. Well, I guess that's why I have too much. But I'll just put them there and just like brush my hand on top of them, just like to bring a tiny bit of soil just to round it. And you're right. Like you wouldn't even need to bury them at all. Electrical room and root cellar. Awesome. That's awesome, Patrick. Hope you have fun. Wickershire. I don't have sand. Opposite from Justin Rose. My last video was begging basically for candy roast or squash, and got the hookup. I felt weird asking our garden community, but I figured that's what it was there for. Yes, we have a group chat, a couple of us, where we kind of feel like family, and well, we are family. Let's just put it this way. Darren, Patrick, Annie, Marilyn, Lynn, Tracy, myself, Lindsay. We can go in there and talk about anything we want without being afraid of being judged. I don't think we've ever had any fights. Sometimes we disagree. Sometimes we have bad days, but we were able to have a pretty decent conversation a couple of years ago, actually, about a few like political things and religions and things like that. And none of us is really on the exact same pace on those things. But we were able to do that. So imagine when it comes to being able to grow food. I just asked a question in the chat, and I forgot Mike and Angie. They're also in there as well for me and New Acres. I asked the question. Someone will have the answer. If we don't, someone will be like, okay, well, I've seen this one guy or this one lady at some point talking about that specific subject. Yeah, we may disagree on. Well, we don't really disagree on beer anymore. I'm not drinking Bud Light. I hate snow. I was coming out of work today in my Jeep. Well, I have a white Jeep, and it was full of snow. So it was, white on white. And I was removing the snow from it. And I looked at the guy behind me doing the same thing. And I looked at him and I'm like, I hate doing this. Like, this is one of the things I hate the most. And he's like, I understand you because I don't like doing it either. But if we don't do it, we might, get caught by cops and get a fine. I'm like, if you only knew how bad I hate winter, especially because of that. Like I went out this morning. I needed to bring the garbage at the end of my driveway. It was snowing and it was cold. It was cold. And people keep telling me that when it snows, it's not as cold. Well, you know what? It was minus 35 with windshield last week. I didn't feel a thing because I started my Jeep with the common start. Went outside for a few seconds, went in my Jeep, and drove to work. It was probably cold, but I didn't feel it because I wasn't outside. But when it snows, you have the cold on you. It's cold. Yeah. We can grow carrots here, rocks, and clay. If one did take it, it would. If one did take it, it would never come out of the ground. That awesome comment. I don't remember which one it was. Was that one of your comment? The one about me being an awesome nobody? I bring mason jars to work, but usually they are fermented. And yeah, I've never tried fermenting my food. I've done it for the chickens. Well, basically, it's just putting some feed in a bucket with water. It's something that I would love to learn, but it's also the kind of thing that I need to have someone around me to teach me. It's like canning. When I started, I need to have someone around me to show me how to can. Let me just do something here real quick. I only grow a quick crop winter squash from 7 plants over 30 fruits. Yeah, and that's the thing. When you start growing squash, zucchinis, you can have a lot, and I mean a lot of zucchinis and squash from one single plant. Why? What's next? Bill, King William, Billy Joe, Billy Sir William the First, Lord of the Hobgrid Realms. Okay. My wife calls me Snookums, so if you like me, you can have permission. Well, I like you, but I'm gonna call you Bill. And I'm gonna write it down so tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm gonna see it there, and I'm gonna remember about it. I'm pretty good with stuff. I learn fast, but you have to tell me often. Let's say Bill. I'm going to write down Bill. Bill, Billy, Bill. Billy's fine. Billy's kind of cute. Sure knows that works. I don't have the strength to use a broad fork. My neighbor tills the ground to up full big roots, weeds. What you could do is just make like tiny little hills and plant your carrots on top of that. Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, I remembered. I'll always remember that we were at one point saying, you know what? If it wasn't for YouTube, you and I would have never been friends, because there's no way we could be friends thinking the way we think so differently, or something along those lines. But you know what? Like, I love it. I love that we think differently. You know, I used to be like one-sided mind, thinking about what I believe is the only thing that matters. And like I was saying a couple of days ago, like, I've talked to some of you and respectfully decided to listen and learn a lot. You know, I did, like, I mean, it doesn't mean that I have to totally agree with everything that was said, but respect and friendship and brotherhood and, you know, all that kind of stuff comes in, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like, I don't think you're stupid, you know, like, you make sense. Even if I don't see eye to eye with your beliefs, you make sense. And yes, we've had some crazy discussions on religions and, you know, politics and, you know, the C and the V's and all that kind of stuff. And we don't agree on every single thing. And that's normal. I mean, humans, it's like some people think that if you don't believe the same things they do, that you're like a piece of crap. But we're showing people that we can be friends, we can be very close, living far away and thinking differently. I hate snow so much I moved from Boston to Tennessee. But you probably have like venomous snakes or spiders or, you know, critters like that there. Minus 35 Celsius, right? Like, I love snow as I enjoy skating and skiing when younger. Yeah, I used to do that stuff, but I realized growing up that I was only doing those things because those were the only things I could actually do, not because I really enjoyed doing them. You know, we as much as I enjoy playing like skating and playing hockey, I'd rather play soccer than hockey, and I'd rather be out there playing like ball hockey and playing like regular hockey. You know what I mean? Like, I hate the snow. I hate the cold. Karen, thank you so much for being here. My hubby grew up skiing and skating, loved the snow. Now that we live in a condo townhouse with all the services done for us, now living rural with a 450 driveway, he's not such. And I remember my uncle hating winter, and I remember being like 10 years old maybe, telling him like, Uncle, come on, you have to love winter. You can make igloos, you can make snowman, you can go skating, you can make mazes and things like that. And he was like, well, wait until you're older and you have to shovel that crap. Like, you're going to see that it's not so much fun. Well, I kind of agree with him now. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I'm trying not to think to think too much and talk too much about it, because I know some people like snow, and that's fine. Some people like the beauty of it, but I prefer seeing the greens and all the colors of all the flowers and seeing white, you know. But it's okay. That's what makes us human. We all have different opinions on a lot of things. Yeah, understanding different point of views. And I really got to that point, you know. I had some pretty strong opinion on a few things. Let's just say that working in a hospital, seeing people being sick, people dying, All the work I had to do when everything started 3 years ago, I guess I was seeing things this way. And, a lot of you homesteaders see things this way. But now I kind of, I see things this way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like talking about that stuff on my channel, but, it just shows that if you listen to someone else and you really listen with the intentions of learning from that person, you can really see things differently. Maybe you won't agree, but at least you'll have the respect of knowing that it makes sense. You know what I mean? Carrots, bean, root, veggie prefer direct sow. On NPK, yeah, a little nitrogen is good, but phosphorus shines with potassium. He gets sweeter if you leave them. I tried that. I had a bunch of carrots growing in my garden that I just didn't have time to harvest. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to leave them there. I heard it was pretty good in the spring. But I had mice issue, and they ate them all. So when I pulled them out, they were too much. And yes, Patrick, we talk every day. Just smash the like button, have you? Yes, and you like winter, but I don't. But with what happened to me a year ago, mentally, I try to see the positive in everything now instead of just complaining. So as much as I hate snow, like I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to bring that negativity with me. Like I want to be like, you know what? It's giving me time to rest. It's giving me time to do some work. Well, I can't say do some work inside the house because I haven't been really doing lots of work, but it's a good time for me to put in some overtime at work if I can, if I need it. I can probably go for a snowshoeing little walk at some point. Because I have snowshoes and I don't mind doing it, and it's kind of fun. I used to enjoy putting hair snares. We went for a little walk. I started making a video about that, and we walked for about an hour and didn't see one single track. So it was kind of pointless. So I'm not going to show that video of me walking around not seeing anything. But there's probably a few things I can still do. Just have to start enjoying things more, I guess. If you water and suffer from comparison and see water puddle and not filter down a reasonable amount of time, yeah. The new job, to be honest, it was kind of a little bit overwhelming at first. I've said this before. When I started working in computers, I had a computer background. When I started working at the pharmacy, I had a pharmacy background. Now I'm working at the payroll. I have no accounting background. You know what I mean? Like, I owned my own business back in 2007, and I learned how to do incomes and how to keep track and manage everything regarding the financial aspect of what I was doing. But working with payrolls, like, you have 8,000 employees. There's like 8 of us working. We all work together. We're all from different zones. And for those of you who don't know, in New Brunswick, we have like the Horizon network and the Vitalite network. Horizon is mostly the English people. The Vitalite is mostly the French people. Within Vitality, we have 6 different zones. Well, I say 6. We have zone 1. I don't even know what zone 2 and 3 would be. It might be only on the horizon side. We have like zone 1, zone 4, zone 5, which is us, and zone 6. So there's 8 people working with 8,000 employees, and there's a request like every minute. There's a new request. There was a mistake on my paycheck. Can you please tell me what I need to do? The managers do mistakes on their time cards, and we have to fix that all the time. There are people going on leaves, maternity leaves, sick leaves, changing job. Maybe they're just running out of work. We have to do a bunch of unemployment records and things like that. Records of employment, I think it's called. So it never stops, but there is so much to learn. The first 2 weeks, I was so overwhelmed. It was like, my God, like it's too much. Like I'm 40 years old. Like there's no way I can actually learn all that stuff. Like I'm gonna go crazy. And I literally started thinking about maybe going back to the pharmacy. Let's just say that I started exploring that avenue, and I'm glad that I had the talk with my old manager, because now I know that I am never going back there. That conversation didn't do any good. So I figured, I have to learn. I have to learn things about payroll. But it's like yesterday morning, everything was like, poof, oh, it's all clear now. Okay, I think I understand. At least I understand what I'm saying, like what I'm working on, what I just learned. I can go to work now and do some work. I don't have to wait until somebody explains something to me or anything like that. First couple of days, the first 2 weeks, I would go in and be like, okay, well, what do I need to do now? I'm here. I don't know what to do. Okay, you there, Sylvester Stallone. Tell me what I need to do with this, because I want to learn how to do this. Oh, well, I'm too busy right now. I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, you have to wait a couple of minutes. Although I have to say, like, my colleagues, they all seem awesome. Like, I didn't really talk to each and every one of them, but they're all awesome. If I have a question, we have like a coordinator. It kind of makes me laugh, because I'll ask like a small question and be like, do I have to put this in section 1 or in section 2? And he'll be like, he's not even going to answer. He's just going to call me on Teams and be like, well, this is why, this is what you do, this is this, and this is that. And by the way, I'm going to show you something new. Let's do this. And I'll be like, okay, it was just like a yes or no question, and turns out into 45 minutes long training session, but I love it. Like, I'm not saying that in a negative way. Like, I really enjoy it. Like, I really, like I said, yesterday morning, everything, it was like an epiphany. Like, everything just, wow, okay, it's that easy. I still have a lot of questions for my colleagues about how to do things. Like if just a second, I see some. Okay, maybe if I did that. Okay, I still have some questions about. Okay, I did this and this and this, and now I have to do this. Like, am I doing it the right way? Yes, thank you. Do I need to enter something here if that employee is doing this? Yes or no? Oh, okay, cool. Like, now I can keep on going. But honestly, I love it. I go to work. I'm the kind of person that when I'll give you an example. A couple of years back, maybe 20 years ago, yeah, I was working at a library as a summer job, and I was basically allowed to take my break whenever I wanted, unless like it would be really crowded in the library, which never really happened. Um, and I always tried to take my breaks as um, late as I could. Instead of taking my break at 9:30 a.m. and be done at 9:45 and having to wait until like maybe 11 before I could go to lunch for like an hour, and then being back at 12, and then having like 5 hours with only like one little 15-minute break in between before I went back home. I was always trying to do like, okay, I'll go to break at like 10:15, be done around 10:30. I'll go eat lunch around 12:30 and be back at 1:30. So that way, at the time of the day where I feel more tired of what I'm doing, I'll have like a 15-minute break around 3:30, 4 p.m., and then it's almost time to go home. But right now, at payroll, I don't even have time to think about that. I go in, I like to go in early, just because that's the way I am. I have to like wake up my mind and get ready for what we want to do. So I'll go to work 30 minutes earlier, sit down, drink my coffee, watch a YouTube video, scroll through my emails, and I have a lot of emails regarding work, but I don't mind. I'll be there watching the video, answering emails. When 8 o'clock starts, I'll close the YouTube or pause it, depending if I'm not done the video, and I'll start working. And I feel like I do like 3 to 4 things, and then boom, 10:15. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not gonna take a break, but I'll grab a snack. I'll eat a snack while working, and I'll be like, boom, boom, boom. I'm eating my snack. And then I realize most of the time it's 12 o'clock. Like I have an hour for lunch now, because at the pharmacy it was 30 minutes for lunch, 15 minutes break in the morning and the afternoon. I'm free to do that if I want at payroll, or I can take no break and take an hour long for lunch. But honestly, I don't see time go by. I feel like I do like 2 or 3 things, and then boom, okay, it's time to go for lunch. I'll go for lunch, and I don't even mind if I'm alone. Like I'll close the door, eat my lunch, put a video, chat with some friends, do some research on subjects that I'm interested in, and 1 p.m. then I only have 3 hours to go, and I start working, and then it's like boom, 4:05. Like I'm 5 minutes late to go home. Like what happened? Oh well, I still have a little bit of work to do, and I'm not even tired. I'm gonna finish what I'm doing there, and I'm gonna go back home. And 15, 20 minutes gone, and you're still at work. After 4 o'clock, like every 15 minutes, you can claim overtime. So I've done like 30 minutes overtime already, but I enjoy it. It's not the same thing at all. There's no one looking on top of your shoulder what you're doing. You do your job, and you don't have to worry about, if I take a minute because my girlfriend sent me an email. I don't need to worry about someone maybe seeing me and responding to that email and being, hey, you're not supposed to check that. I do my job. I'll do an extra 15 minutes if I have to. I'll start 15 minutes earlier if I have to. I'll do my job. The job will get done. And, at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? If you're not sure about carrots growing and want the carrots to do the work of groundbreaking, look at Parisian, short round, then move up next year to Denver's half long, and that's cool to know. You seem to know a lot about carrots. I'm getting tired. I don't know why. I don't feel it. I just yawn a lot. That's something I never even thought about. Um, I buy the carrots that I just find like they look nice on the package. I try to take the ones that get bigger. Denver's and Nantes are short and stocky. Gray ground crackers after on your 3 plant, whatever your heart desires. Awesome. We went with chips, but we do not want to look up nitrogen in the soil. Best you use them for 1 year on a pathway, then use them later next year or two as a cover moisture retainer. Makes sense. By year 3, the fungal network has mostly digested through them and can be considered organic material and cool. Make you yawn. That's what happens. I just have to think about someone yawning and see, because you're relaxing. Yeah. You only have one life to live, and having kids, I will always do what's best for my kids whenever possible, of course. And I go to work for my kids. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have stayed that long at the pharmacy. I would have found something else. But I needed the money, and I couldn't find anything else with a higher salary. I'm being honest. That's what it is. But now the new job, like, I have a better salary. I have my own office, and I can actually do some work without being bothered by other people. I'm sorry about my new colleagues because I have to bug them a lot, but I don't have anyone coming in my office every 2 minutes asking me to check something for them or asking me questions about my weekend, or I go in and do my job, and that's it. I have my own office. I have a window. I've been working for 15 years without being able to see outside. And I don't know if you know, but from November until March, it's dark in the morning when I leave for work, and it's dark when I come back from work. So that's like a good 3 months, I'd say, that I don't even see the light. That's really, really hard on the brain. And now, even if I get home, even if I get to work, and it's still dark, a couple of minutes later, it starts being like clear, like all over, like the sun is up and it's nice and it's light, and like that makes a huge difference on mental health. And I get it. I'm not complaining. There are a few reasons why pharmacies don't have windows. I'm sure you can understand that. There's a lot of medication, a lot of drugs that can be stolen. They can't put windows. There's only like one tiny small window at the entrance, and all you see if you look through it is a corridor behind it. But it's just so that people that come in, we actually get to see their face before we let them in the pharmacy. I'm not a sociopath. That's good. Yes, that is good. And I never thought that you were a sociopath. I don't know why you're saying that. What is going on? What is going on? It's going to be for the chat. The interview is postponed due to life issues, which is solely expected. So I see that Darren left me. He's gone to some other people's live stream. You can companion plant most lettuce with carrots as the root structure is not complete with either plant. Thus, 2 for 1 in the rows. Market gardening. I would not do this. Never risk smaller veggies. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm happy with my job right now. I enjoy it. I didn't like 2 weeks ago. I didn't think I was going to like it that much, and I'm like, okay, like I'm going to give myself a chance. I need to learn a lot of stuff, but now I don't know. It's well, I enjoyed it. Like I just take a break from the same routine that I was in. I was enjoying it, but I was wondering if it was just because I was changing. When they say that it's like a honeymoon kind of because it's a new job. But like last couple of days, it's been like, wow, I love doing that kind of stuff. It's nice. True. Really? So Tracy, read this. I'm not a sociopath because I yawn. You have not left me. Cool. So you're doing 2 live streams at the same time? That's cool. An hour and a half is usually what I aim at, and after I leave my live stream, you're gonna be sent to Scott Rambling with the Brooms live stream. Please go show him some support. He's an awesome man, very good friend of mine. He's live with Tony and Angie, our cabin in the woods, and Johnny and Christine from Gillam's Farm. Gillam Farms right now. So it seems like it's a pretty interesting subject. I don't know what they're talking about though. I have them on mute because I am currently live, but thumbs up and I will be there in a second, and so will you if you stay here. All right. Why is it okay? So I'm gonna thank everyone for being here. All right, take care, CR. I'm leaving anyway. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. If you're limited on space, read up and learn companion planning, succession planning. You'll always have max yield and something growing. Before the garden goes to rest, drop cover crops, compost. To be honest, my biggest struggle last year was lettuce and radishes, and those are supposed to be easy. All right, so I will put some music on until I get out, and I'll see you on Scott's live stream if you follow me there, and if not, I'll see you next time. All right, take care. Bye. Yes, they do, but I just can't seem to make them grow. For some reason, they'll go like really, really, really tall, and I'll have the pods like within 5 weeks maybe, but I won't have the radish. I won't have the bulb. I love you too, Darren.